There are many possibilities to plan certain short activities or ongoing activities for your group that will help create a stronger bond, learn a little something more about the situation, or maybe allow your group to approach design thinking with various new perspectives. Any activity planning you choose to do for your group is entirely up to you and what you want to get out of the project term experience. Some broad ideas for any group would be a specific dress for the day, packing a specific lunch for the day, or taking a break and going on a walk outside for reflection, journaling, or just to clear your head. Another idea for all groups could be to each make some sort of art piece that reflects your group's experience, and then finish a portion or add a new aspect each day to complete it by the end of PT. Your group could also research a cultural ritual or tradition that relates to your PT group and do that. Now I will go into a few questions to explore that could be made into activities for each group, so make sure you keep an ear out for when I mention your PT placement. For immigration and statelessness, Dominican Republic. You could take the United States citizenship test online and then reflect on the questions, what advantage do you have taking this test? You could look at all the required documents for immigration. You could look into what does statelessness mean? You could also look into the history of colonization and diaspora. You could look into the history of immigration to the United States and how American society has always rejected the most recent immigrant. I also have some possible resources like videos, documentaries, and guided questions, so please reach out to me if you're interested. Now, for environmental conservation, Costa Rica. You can take what you've learned about environmental policies in Costa Rica from your PT experience and return to the group with your own research about environmental policies in your area and how they differ. You could learn about a certain plant native to your area, you could look for the plant, plant that plant, or you could learn about animals native to your area. And to make it more complex, you could look into how can technology help with environmental conservation. Also, you could look into what are some causes and effects on the environment. All right, next for education equity, Mongolia. You could each ask yourself the question, what does education mean to you and your future? How has this changed over elementary, middle, and high school? What does education equity mean? What needs to be present for this to happen? You could also look into the education system in your district and see how that compares to surrounding districts and especially in Mongolia. Lastly, for gender equality Cambodia, you could ask yourself the question, what does being your gender identity and biological identity mean to you? How does society's view of you affect your life? How is this similar or different to the people of Cambodia? You could also look into what are the arguments surrounding gender equality in Cambodia? How do they compare to the arguments in the United States? You could also explore, if you are interested, the economic gender wage gap and how society influences this gap. For example, more women having to leave the workforce to raise young children, and then re-entering the workforce with less education and job experience. Again, these are all just possibilities based on what your group wants to get out of the experience. Please reach out to Bianca, Alexis, Natalie, or myself if you have any questions. Thank you for listening.